Good morning. Thank you for being here today with me. My name is Anna. I'm gonna be your trainer today. So a little bit background about myself that I had a background in early childhood education and I have been in the industry for almost 3 years now. So today's lesson is about how to use the planning cycle and how we can use it in the classroom and what is the EYLF outcomes. There is going to be a lot of stuff, but please bear with me. I will explain them and also use example to help you better understand the class. Okay, so before we start our session, I'm going to do acknowledgement of country. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of countries throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respect to the elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and terrestrial islander peoples today. So let's begin. So the planning cycle, what you're seeing right now, it is a diagram. Luckily, we can use this for free on the educational first. So I'm going to go through each one of them. So the first one is the observe. Second is assess. The third one is plan. The fourth one is implement. And the last stage is the evaluate. Now, remember the planning cycle of the planning stage, it doesn't just stop at evaluate. It actually go back again to observe, assess, plan, implement, and evaluate. So we would do this during the whole curriculum. Now, so for the first one, observe, which basically means that you collect information about the child's current knowledge, strengths, their interests and their skills, and also their cultural background. So this is a crucial step to get to know more about the children and their family. And there are a lot of surveys where had the aspiration sheet sent out to the children and the families. So just to get to know them a little bit better. So later on, I will have the exploration sheet, what the exploration sheet will look like. So the second part is the assess. So it means that you analyze and interpret children's learning, and then you understand what they learn and how they learn it and why they learn it that way as well. Then you're going to link it to the EYLF outcomes. So by this step, you will already have an idea of how this child grows and what they are interested about. So it is also a step to help you plan out the whole learning program that suits the child's grow and achieve the learning outcomes.
Yep.
Cool. Next is the planned stage, which you design the learning experience based on the observations and assessment that we just did earlier. Then you're going to work with the children and families to create a supportive environment that enriches their learning. So this step we usually reflect in the learning program in the room. Some services can have a monthly program, which they will update every 4 weeks. Others will have a fortnightly program, which would be updated every 2 weeks. So it just really depends on the service. So the fourth stage is the implement, which we have to deliver the designed learning activities that support children's learning and their engagement in the classroom. So make sure that it has to be a play-based learning activities that promote children's agency. So this step will usually happen within the classroom. For example, you can set up a table activities about numbers and you can engage with children and find out their learning outcomes. Now, do you have any questions so far?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like there's a bit involved. But yeah, you mentioned at the observe stage, you have to sort of look at the child's uh, something sheet. Yeah.
Aspiration
Aspiration sheet. Yeah. Like let's say like you want to collect the child's current knowledge, strengths, and interests, but sometimes their cultural background could be a little bit sensitive. Um, yeah, how would you go about asking for that information?
So usually we will have a aspiration sheet, which we will have all these different questions, which I will explain it a bit deeper.
Mm.
So later on, I will show you the questions, and we always talk to the family, just encourage them to complete them. If they don't want to share any information, that is also fine because yeah, we also respect their privacy as well.
Mm.
So yeah. Other than that, is there anything else that you want to ask? No, good. Okay. Then we're gonna go to the final stage, which is to evaluate. So this is about reflect on the effectiveness of the observations, planning, and the teaching strategies that we have used. And then you're going to use all of these reflections to inform practice changes and extend learning opportunities. So this step what happens after children have finished at the activities and you have found out what works during the activity and what didn't work. Then you can make changes for the next time and find out what learning outcomes that this child has achieved. Okay. Do you have any other questions before I move on to the next stage?
No, explained it pretty well.
Cool, thank you. So I'll go a bit deeper to each of the stage. It can be quite overwhelmed, but I'm just trying. I will try to make it really simple. So the first stage of observe, like what you have mentioned about the aspiration sheet. So there are some of the questions showing on the in the slide that you can. The first one is please tell us about your family. So these basically mean who is in your family, the family structure, their backgrounds, what sort of language that they speak at home, their religion, and all that. But it's also up to the family whether they want to share that information with us. If not, that is also fine. And the next one is what are the child's interests, such as the child likes to play outside or the child likes to do counting. Yeah, things like that. And the next one is what are your child's strengths? So, for example, the child could be really good at packing things up, really good at like helping out. So these are the strengths that they can put it here. And the next one is does your child request support in any areas of their learning, development, and well being? So some parents come to us and say, oh, they found it's really difficult to regulate their children at home. So that these are the areas that the parents think that these children or their child needs to improve. And then next one is what are the expectation of the program being delivered in the room? Sort of like what do you like to see on the table or what do you want us to include? If there is any sort of people from different background, do you want us to include your family or your cultural background in our program? Things like that. So sort of to be mindful. Of course, there are many other questions that you can ask, but these will give you a general idea. So there are also a screenshot that I took from the ASICRA website. We can read through, but it's basically the same thing that I have mentioned before, but most important that I have highlighted down here is that we had to ensure that children's and families' voice are heard and included. So it's not just what we want them to learn, what we want to include in our program is also about what they want as well. That's why we send out these aspiration sheets for them to complete.
Fair enough.
Sure. And the next one is assess. So assess means that you analyze the learning and you observe and identify the patterns in how the child learns. You noting their strengths, interests, and the areas that might need future support. And next is connect the observations and the assessment to the early years learning framework, which we will talk about a bit later. So you collect all of these and then you show how the child is how the child's learning reflect the framework's goals and the principle. Next, what is very important that I have highlighted here is you have to take a holistic approach by considering the child's social, emotional, physical, and cognitive development to gain a complete understanding of their overall growth. Next is engage with the families and educators about the child's progress, and you help each other understand the child a bit better. So each of the steps, they all involve you to engage with the families and engage with the children as well. Okay, now is the plan stage. So the first thing is that you have to set a learning goals. Use the assessment to establish clear and achievable goals for each child's learning and development. So you have to ensure these goals are achievable and related to the children. For example, you have noticed this child really like counting, that he can count 1 to 5, and then he wants to learn maybe how to count 1 to 10. So these are the learning goals that you can set out. So the next one is you design an intentional learning experience. So you plan meaningful activities that reflect each child's interests, strengths, and areas of growth, ensure these experiences are engaging and also age appropriate as well. So you promote these continuous learning and challenge. So age appropriate means, for example, if today you're in the baby room and then you, most important for the baby is that sensory experience. So if today you set up a writing activities, they probably can't even use the pen yet, so they wouldn't know how to do it.
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so which I would probably put writing activity in the kindergarten, which they sort of more interested in how to write their name. They are more interested into how to use the pen. And then the next is the embed play-based learning, because it is a key principle of the early years learning framework, and it also supports the holistic development of every child. Next is again engage and collaborate with children and the family. So you have to involve children in decision making and work closely with the family by sharing the plans, and also you can get the feedbacks from them so that you can also put it in your curriculum. So next is the implement. So remember, when you're working in the service or working with children, the most important things is that you have to keep them safe. So safety first. So the first one is you have to ensure the environment is safe, welcoming, and equipped with materials and resources that reflects children's learnings and their abilities, and also age appropriate. So next is you gotta engage with the children. So you actively participate in children's learning experience by joining their play, and then you can ask open-ended questions, and you offer gentle guidance and encouragement. So by asking open-ended questions, kind of like, okay, what's your favorite color? What color is this? Instead of you asking them, oh, is this red or blue? There's a kind of like only 2 options that they can choose. But if you ask them, what is this color? It's more like an open-ended questions. So, and then you offer them gentle guidance and encouragement so that keep them going. Next is encourage child's agency, which I have mentioned before, that you encourage children to make choices and including them in their own learning, and you let them express their ideas so that they can decide what they want to learn. And next is you document, that you use notes, photos or videos, or just to capture the meaningful moments for learning as an evidence to show the parents. Okay, so now we come to the next stage, which is the evaluate. So the first is that you have to reflect on the learning outcomes, evaluate how effectively the learning experience achieved the goals set during the planning stage. Then you're going to seek for feedback. Then you can invite feedback from the children, families, or the colleagues, such as you can ask the children, what do you think about this activity? Do you still want to do that again? And you can ask family, what do you think your child learned this? And then you can ask your colleague, like, oh yeah, do you think we can do something else next time? Things like that. Then you're going to review these documentations. So you're going to look into the collect records, your photos and videos to sort of identify the evidence of learning, their skills and developmental progress. Next is the recognize growth opportunities. So you identify what strategy that work in doing the activities, what are the most effective way to support their learning.
Yep.
And now is the future planning. So you're going to apply your reflections and insights to guide upcoming plans. Then adapt the strategy, learning experience, and environments to better meet these evolving needs and interests of the children, because children always change their interests over time. So you kind of keep up with them.
No, fair enough.
Sure. Do you have any questions? I know it's a lot to take in.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, but I think you explained it pretty well. Thanks for that. I have this one slight question. You did mention that, it's very important for you to take documents, take some notes. In your experience, do you find that parents prefer to have their kids' goals sort of noted with notes, photos, or videos? Which one is better?
I think most parents would prefer photos over like reading a huge paragraph.
Yeah.
So sometimes what I do is I would take meaningful pictures, and then I would write out a simple storage, like such as, okay, Marcus did that, and then this is what he said during the activities, and then I'll put on the achievement, the learning outcomes. And yeah, so most parents would spend more time just viewing those pictures other than reading text.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
Yeah, okay. So now we're going to move on to the early years learning framework outcomes. So if you search on Google and you type in early years learning framework outcomes, and you click on the link from the ASICWA, it should be a PDF file. Luckily, these are all free for educational purpose, so we can use it freely. Now, I have highlighted the text below. It says belonging, being, and becoming, because that is sort of like the first stage that we build a relationship with the children, and then we can assess them to learn.
Yep.
Okay. So luckily, we have another diagram that can explain a lot of things. So in the middle is children's learning, development, and well-being. It is surrounded by principle, practice, learning outcomes, and is again surrounded by belonging, being, and becoming. Okay. So I will just quickly go through the principle and the practice, because we are going to learn about the learning outcomes more today. So principle is that so you have to create a secure, respectful relationship with the family and the parents, and partnerships, respect for diversity, because Australia is a multicultural country, and we do have to make sure that everyone is included. And then also the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders perspectives, equity, inclusion, and high expectation, sustainability, critical reflection, and ongoing professional learning, and collaborative leadership with the teamwork. Okay. Next is the practice. So practice means like holistic, integrated, and interconnect approach, responsiveness to children, play-based learning, and intentionality, learning environments, cultural responsiveness, continuity of learning and transition, and assessment and the evaluation for learning, development, and well-being. So now comes to the learning outcome, which we are going to talk about today. So the learning outcome has there are 5 learning outcomes. First one is children have strong sense of identity. Children are connected with and contribute to their world. Children have a strong sense of well-being. Children are confident and involved learners, and children are effective communicators. Do you have any questions so far before I go down to the next slide?
No.
Okay, good. So I'm going to explain each of the outcome a bit in detail, and then I will provide some example as well. So learning outcome 1, children have a strong sense of identity. So these involves feeling safe, secure, and support that building confidence, self-awareness, and positive relationships. Outcome 2 is children are connected with and contribute to the world. This means that learning about fairness, respect, and responsibilities, and understanding their role in the community. Outcome 3, children have a strong sense of well-being. These includes developing physical health, emotional safety, self-regulation, and resilience. Outcome 4, which is my favorite one, children are confident and involved learners. This is fostered through play-based learning, where they develop curiosity, confidence, and a positive sense of self-worth. Outcome 5 is children are effective communicators. These involves being able to express their thoughts and feelings in a various of ways. Sometimes it include like verbal or non-verbal. Okay. So we are going to look at some examples. So the first example is Liam shows a strong interest in letters and enjoys looking at alphabet books. He can recognize and name letters A to E, and often points them out during the group time reading. So this is the observation and assessment that we have done. Next is the planning stage, which we set up learning goals. So Liam will extend his learning recognition skill to identify and name letter A to J over the next 4 weeks. And then, but also remember that if Liam couldn't recognize the letter from A to J over the next 4 weeks, which is also fine. This is just a goal for them.
It's a good goal to
keep going.
Yes.
And then next is the implement stage, which we plan the learning activities for them. So you set up an engaging play-based alphabet activities such as letter matching games, scent tracing, and singing the alphabet song. And you incorporate letters into everyday's routine, such as you can print out their name and put it on their locker, so that encourage Liam to find his own name. And next is the evaluate. So what happened during the activity is that Liam participated in the alphabet games and could now confidently identify letters A to H by the end of the week 4. He still mess up with I and J sometimes because they look a little bit similar. What worked well is that the hands-on and play-based activities kept him engaged and support their memory. And you incorporating letters from his name increased the motivation for him to find his own name. And what could be improved next time is that we can provide more opportunities for a smaller group or one-on-one letter exploration to reinforce the last few letters that he couldn't complete. Then the future plan is that we continue building on this success by introducing letter K to O and encouraging Liam to form simple 3-letter words using the known letters. Okay, so the next learning. What learning outcome did Liam have achieved here? So I would say all the learning outcome are sort of linked to each other, but what's more evident here is that learning outcome 5, that children are effective communicators. So under the learning outcome 5, there are actually a lot of different things for you to put in, but then I have just put out 4 in here. Children engage with a range of texts and gain meaning from these texts. Children develop interest in and enjoyment of text and literacy concepts, and children begin to understand how sound and letters create meaning, and children recognize the symbol, letters, and words carrying meaning. Cool. Then let's look at the next example, which is Lucy. So Lucy enjoys joining group activity but often skip numbers when counting objects. She can confidently count from 1 to 5, but needs some support to continue count up to 10. So her parents have expressed a desire for her to strengthen her counting skills at home and in the classroom. And the planning stage, we set up the learning goals for Lucy. Lucy will develop her number recognition and one-on-one correspondence skills to confidently count objects from 1 to 10 over the next month. Next is the implement stage. We set out a counting station with blocks, shells, and beads where Lucy can count and match quantities to number cards. Or we can play counting songs or rhythms such as five little dogs tending the bears. So all of these like catchy song. Next is we include accounting in daily routine. For example, we encourage Lucy to count how many children are in today, or how many cups that we need for snack time. And then provide home connection activities. Like you can send a list of to Lucy's parents to sort of just talk about what we have done and what Lucy has enjoyed doing the activity, so they can do it at home too. Next is the evaluate. So what worked well is that integrating counting into daily routines and songs increase the engagement for Lucy. What could be improved is that we provide more activities focusing on the numbers. And the future plan is that we continue to support Lucy by introducing counting beyond 10, and we explore more like simple addition using objects, such as we provide number puzzle or outdoor counting games to maintain the engagement through play. So what sort of learning outcome that Lucy have achieved here? I would say Lucy have achieved probably outcome 4 and 5, but more evidently here is outcome 4, that children are confident and involved learner. So children develop a range of skills and processes such as problem solving, inquiry, experimentation, hypothesis, researching, and investigating. Children transfer and adapt what they have learned from one context to another, such as Lucy can only count from 1 to 5, now she can count from 1 to 10. So children resource their own learning through connecting with people, place, technology, and natural and processed materials here. So now we're going to look into some case study. So give me 1 second. Okay. Now, so the observe part, which during the group time activity, Lily, which is a 4-year-old, became frustrated when another child sat on the spot that she wanted, and she ended up crying and yelling and demanding for the spot. So that is the observation that we just saw. And what do you think would be the assess part for this?
Yeah, like why she started crying.
Yeah, pretty much just like that. So why she started crying? Is there anything happened before that sort of caused the frustration? And then next is the plan. What sort of learning goal that you would want to design for Lily to achieve?
How to stop her from crying next time it happens.
Yeah, that is a very good step. So we just need to help her to regulate her emotions. And how are we going to regulate her emotions is by we're going to implement some activities. Is there any activities that you can think of that it would be good for Lily?
I think maybe distracting her, or maybe having something that teaches her not to be frustrated next time, whatever that may be.
Yeah, I think that would be a very good teaching strategies. So what we can do is that the activity we can set out a quiet corner, which we can distract her from being in the by surrounded by a lot of children. We can give her some like, puzzles so that she can concentrate and so that she can prevent that sensory overload. On we can just read a book or anything that sort of like redirect her from getting frustrated. So the next is the evaluate part. So what happened during the activity is that Lily came down quickly because she got distracted. And what did we do well this time is that we provide puzzle and the space for Lily to keep her engaged. And what can we do for the next time is that we can maybe provide more games or teach her strategy, like such as teach her how to do turn taking and how to share the space with other children. So yes, that is the planning cycle. Yes, so is there anything else that you want to ask or?
No, we covered it pretty well, thank you.
Okay, cool, let's move on. So I know it's a lot, but let's sort of recap what we have learned today. So these are the things that we have talked about, which is the planning cycle that have 5 stages, and then the learning outcome, which has 5 learning outcome as well. So do you have any questions before we finish the session?
No, I think you've covered it pretty well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Then I will see you next time.
Yeah, of course.
Thank
Thanks for your
you.
time.
I hope that is